Anne-Marie Worries, Chair of the ISO Subcommittee revising ISO 14001 on Environmental Management Systems, which recently progressed to the stage of Final Draft International Standard, or FDIS. Anne-Marie, can you tell us what the stage is about and what it means for ISO 14001?
Hello, Maria, and Happy New Year and best wishes for 2015 to start with. This is a significant step for what is in reality a critical environmental standard, one that pulls together all the environmental issues, be they water, air, climate, soil, into one standard and requires organizations to think about them all in a holistic manner. It's also, for me, really pleasing because we've seen some significant consensus building and hard work by all the working group experts and the leadership, which has resulted in over 92% of ISO member bodies approving the standard, which is quite significant, I think. And then, of course, we've got quite a bit of a journey remaining. We've got bits to do in terms of the standard being published probably in Q3. And we're also in the middle of the journey for the development of ISO 14004, which is the companion standard, which is going to a draft international standard vote here in February.
Interesting. What would you say are the main changes in the revision so far?
Well, I think the main changes in the revision has partly been informed by the continued improvement survey that we did in 2013 and 2014, which we had 5,000 responses to from over 110 countries. So that really has given us the impetus to what needs to be changed. Then you've got other examples of changes, such as the strategic environmental analysis piece, which means that we've looked at strategic environmental management from a different angle and forced more focus on that. We've looked at a greater focus on leadership focus. We've looked at protecting the environment is a much clearer requirement now, as is environmental performance, one of those things that most people know about and most people go, it wasn't good enough in the previous standard, it's definitely been strengthened this much. And then I suppose the other one is the life cycle thinking that's coming into this version of the standard, which will make quite a significant difference to the way we approach the standard when you deal with the standard, the fact that you need to think about it broader. That comes back to my comment earlier on about the standard dealing with the environmental issues, all of them, in a more holistic approach.
Do we expect to see any more changes in the next stage?
I don't think we are going to see any significant changes in the next stage, but we've had 1,300 comments and they are due to be resolved at a meeting in Tokyo in February, so we will see some changes. And of course, the other thing that people will see as changes, which has already happened, is of course the fact that ISO 14001 now follows ISO's common framework for management system known as Annex SL. So I think there's a lot of things to happen on that one. And I think about changes that's happened to date, you could also sort of look at the Google Hangout we did in September and find out what developing countries think about the changes that has happened to date. But my personal expectation is that we're not going to see that many changes in the standard as we go forward.
Looking ahead, what are the next steps?
Well, as I said, the working group is meeting in Tokyo. Thank you, Japan, for hosting us, one of the many countries that's kindly hosted the working group. We expect publication sometime in Q3, so between July and September, perhaps not as early as I would like, but I'm quite sure we'll make that deadline. If anybody wants to follow more about it, then look at the Subcommittee 1 website, which you will find on iso.org/ISO/TC207 Subcommittee 1 Home. And I think at this point, it's very important to say thank you to all the working group experts and leadership for their significant commitment they've all had. They've really all been involved significantly in the work, and because they all do this voluntarily, I think it's really important that we recognize that we couldn't do without volunteers to develop international standards of this level. I still think, and I maintain, that this is a significant step for a critical environmental standard that covers all of the environmental issues and forces organizations to think of them from a holistic point of view. So I'm really looking forward to celebrating the end of the revision journey. I'm quite sure I've got a lot of working group experts feeling the same, and seeing the publication of the final version.
Thank you, Anne-Marie. We're looking forward to celebrating the new version as well, and thanks for this very valuable insight into this interesting work on ISO 14001.